It's state law. So
really?
So Landon has not had to get out of the car in Oregon.
No, I mean, I don't know.
Gas.
I think he's had to pump it. Now, that brings up an interesting question. I'm going to have to ask him if he's had to put his own gas in his car.
Right.
And if there's a difference between full service and regular, he better be paying for regular.
Well, if it's state law, surely they're not charging.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. 256
tips or something. Hell, I don't know.
256-576-4977. That's the number 2, the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. When's the last time you have had full service at a gas station?
Yeah. It's been a couple years for me, and it was in Huntsville, and it stunned me. That's all I can tell you.
Well, what has stunned a lot of people, and we talked a little bit about it, the fact that Spencer Rattler took some shots at Oklahoma and indirectly Lincoln Riley along the way and everything. Well, Lincoln Riley, after 5 months since he left Oklahoma, penned a I'm sorry letter to the University of Oklahoma and its fans.
Oh, Lord.
Because he'd been taking a lot of heat on a lot of stuff. And he says in the letter, as much as my family and I love Norman and cherish the success we were having on the field, sometimes life throws your curveballs at the most unexpected times. Honestly, I always figured I would end my career at Oklahoma, but when my agent called me to pass along interest from USC, I was immediately intrigued by the possibilities. He goes on to say that there are aspects of my departure and transition that I would certainly do differently if I could do it again, and I acknowledge that I could have handled some parts of the situation better. I absolutely own that. While I was able to talk with several players after the team meeting, I wish I would have had the time to sit down with each individual player and staff member to explain my decision. And then he says, since my move, many have asked me why I would leave Oklahoma, and the best and the most honest answer is that the opportunity at USC was simply the right job at the right time for me and my family. We all have moments in life where we are faced with difficult choices, and this was the path my family and I chose. I don't expect everyone to understand. In my line of work, that's not possible.
Well,
5 months after he left.
I mean, all I'll say about that is I think he knew pretty well what he was going to do. I think it was a situation a lot like, with not as much acrimony, but a lot like Jimbo Fisher. I think he knew that this was going to be the opportunity. I think by middle of the season, he was probably alerted by his agent that USC would be very interested in him if he was interested. Now, if he was not, then they would have been negotiating with Oklahoma to try to get a contract extension and get him a new deal in Norman.
Right.
But again, I think they knew that USC was on the radar and how deep USC's pockets were, and they were going to go above and beyond. And the biggest thing is, and this is what the yellow Lincoln Riley is not telling you, and they ought to just put a yellow streak down his back, is that he wanted no part of the SEC and getting his head caved in, because he wanted to go to USC and play with the softies up there where he could throw the ball around, run it, and win a lot of games.
But that move to the SEC isn't happening for
a
few years, though.
But I know. But I just think he felt like once it did happen, he probably would have gotten exposed a little bit. So I think he bailed out because he wanted no part of the Southeastern Conference. Because I know he did. There's no speculation. He bailed out because he's yellow.
Oh, 256-576-4977. That's the number 2, the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can get in on the show this morning. And that's interesting there, just because, I mean, Spencer Rattler took some shots at him back and forth. I mean, it's safe to say that neither one of those two are going to exchange Christmas cards anytime soon, Spencer Rattler and Lincoln Riley.
Especially when you bench a quarterback. I mean, and I know Jalen Hurts went through some of this stuff at Alabama, but he didn't do that. But I know he felt like he shouldn't have lost his job. I mean, that's normal. But, I mean, I do think that overall, though, when you think about it, I think that I don't blame the Oklahoma fans for being irritated, but I do think, and by the way, I don't buy this either. That if Lincoln Riley were attached to a lie detector test, he'd probably flunk it. All this, I was always planning on being at Oklahoma. Well, then why was his name floated for the Dallas Cowboys and every NFL job there is? Of course, he's trying to get raises, but give me a break. He had his eyes on that. If he'd have won a national championship instead of getting, beat over the head with an anvil every time he went to the college football playoff and actually won one, he might have already left and gone to the NFL. But he never got to the top of the mountain. Now, if he gets to the top of the mountain at Southern Cal, and look, they are one of the, even with their struggles, they are the brand on the West Coast if they're winning, okay? And really still probably the brand even when they're not at the highest level. But anyway, if they get rolling, without a doubt, they are the brand in that part of the country in college football. And if he starts winning huge because of being in Hollywood and the market and everything, they will be as big as anybody. And if he wins, they're going to be some NFL teams come after him.
Right,
and I would not be shocked if he climbed the mountain a time or two at USC. Well, I'm not convinced he will, because I don't know really if he's a good enough coach, quite frankly, to do it. He might be. He's a really good coach. I mean, his record says that. But again, is he elite? I don't know. But hey, look, Ed Ogeron wasn't elite, Gene Chizik wasn't elite, and they won national championships. Of course, they had to do it in the best league in America. They didn't have to do it in the weak league. But still, or I'll just quote Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Bush Leagues. I mean, because that's basically what the Pac-12 is. But if he can win it there, he will have no shortage of interest from the NFL, and it'll be interesting to see. Pete Carroll finally did.
True.
He built it into a machine, and he used that opportunity to finally get the perfect, place for him to go in his mind in the NFL, and it worked. He went to the Seahawks. Owner was really good. They end up, letting him build the organization. He had a great general manager he was working with where they had a relationship, and he won a Super Bowl. Should have won 2. And so now he's having to rebuild because of Russell Wilson moving on. But still, Pete has been in the NFL now for over a decade. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the ultimate end game for Lincoln, especially if he gets tired of dealing with NIL and recruiting. So we'll see. But again, going to be fascinating to watch. I mean, because USC wants to win. That's obvious. They want to get back to being elite. And they haven't been elite since Pete Carroll left because they haven't been able to find the right guy. Maybe that's Lincoln Riley. I have my doubts just simply because of what I saw in the Big 12.
Right.
In a way, I think he should have stayed to try to prove himself in the SEC, because if you can win the SEC, you can win a national championship. But there's no guarantees in the rest of these Power 5 leagues, because you don't even. I know they always sell you on the path is easier. There's only been one coach that's been able to do it twice with an easier path, and that's Dabo Swinney. Everybody else has fallen short. Okay, so we will see, because the SEC, to me, is still the cream of the crop.
All right, Jeff from the Borough with us real fast. Good morning, Jeff.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, they're the cream of the crop, all right, but like you said, Ogeron and Chizik won titles, Fulmer did too, and got fired. So what's the difference? You win a title and get fired. So, but I just wanted to mention the Texas thing, the baseball, for y'all talked about it. I saw yesterday where the batter got 2 games for Taunton, and the pitcher got 4 games. And I was reading where the pitcher that attacked the batter might be expelled.
That was an interesting. Drew, I don't know if you've seen this.
Of course, Texas, I've seen it. I was
Texas
told
junior college baseball.
Yeah, I was told that I didn't see it officially, but the first word I heard was that the pitcher was not going to be able to participate the rest of the year, so he only got 4 games.
Yeah. Well, they were saying he might be expelled from school.
Right.
Expelled from school, they said, and then now they say he's got 4 games. And the batter, they gave the batter guy hit the home run. They gave him 2. Said he was taunting him. Said he was taunting him and all this. They gave him 2 games. They said, and what I saw, what I read about it, but and everything. But as far as that goes, but and stuff. But I did want to ask you, Drew, what did you think about just real quick college basketball? I know I ain't got much time, but what do you think about 34 coming back?
Oh, I'm not surprised. We were told by David Sisk Jeff, that his pro stock was not a lock in the first round, more than likely a second-round pick, and that if they could work out the dual citizenship, because he's not an American citizen, so there was some issue about the NIL situation. But if they could work that out, he could make as much as $5 to $6 million in a year at Kentucky.
He's already got a deal with the website Oscar34.com. He's got mugs and hoodies and hats,
right?
All that. For sale, he's already got that. You can go on that website, get all kinds of stuff, his name and likeness, and whatever it is. But because Will S has got 2 deals. He's got one with a horse in a cave in Farnsmore, a wheel. It's a thoroughbred. And there's a guy here in Murfreesboro owns a card shop. He signed a 6-figure deal. He owns a card shop, collectible card shop and stuff. So he's a big Kentucky fan. He's from West Tennessee originally. That's where he grew up. And he signed a 6-figure deal. Early, it's been, I don't know, a few months ago, 2-3 months ago, whatever. So, I mean, the NIL deals, they're going, I mean, I don't know if everybody's going to make a lot of money, but they are, out there if you find the right deals and all that kind of stuff. But now he's coming back, and I know a couple other guys I think are testing the waters for the NBA, and it's just like that. And I didn't watch it last night, but the Grizzlies had a great comeback to winning. So
yeah, they were down 26
and 25 in the third quarter and come back. So, but y'all have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy your show. Thank you.
Thank
Jeff
you,
in the
Jeff.
Borough with us. We've got more Kentucky basketball to talk about. There was an interesting situation that happened yesterday with Kentucky basketball, and we'll go over that a little bit later in the show. But we got to get a break in, because when we come back, Troy head football coach John Sumrall,
Grissom graduate,
going to join the show. We're going to talk Troy football as they has their spring game coming up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Hi everybody, Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000 square foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff. What are you waiting on? We will see you at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
With a new face at first and some of the best arms in the National League, this 2022 Braves team is loaded up for another run at the crown.
Swung on, lifted high and deep to right field, headed for the chop house, heads up out there, gone, home run!
Tonight, the Braves are back in town, and Truist Park is open for business as the Braves take on the NL East rival Miami Marlins. Braves Radio's on the air at 6:05 Eastern, 5:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
Looks like they're moving all the traffic in the eastbound lanes of Highway 20 over to the left to get by that wreck. That's Highway 20 eastbound near Bibb Garrett. I don't have a report of injury on that one. Everything else looks good at this point. I don't see any other major snags. You be careful on your ride in. Expert heart care backed by advanced technology. When you need cardiac care, you need the heart doctor. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Bring that playoff intensity every day to our shows.
Bring it on, Chop. Let's go.
Okay, maybe just for Drew DeArmond.
Ding me.
Listen for Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew. Weekday mornings starting at 7 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. What can only be described as a beautiful Friday here in the Tennessee Valley. And what a day it is for us as we get to talk college football now, spring college football. And our next guest going through, he's been through many of spring drills, many of spring games, but not as a college head coach.
Yeah, this is a special one, man. And this is a guy that I had the honor and privilege of watching grow up here and play for the great Ronnie Massey at Grissom High School before going on to play for Rich Brooks and becoming an all-SEC linebacker at Kentucky. And then he began his journey climbing up the coaching ladder. And as you just said, Scott, the head football coach of the Troy Trojans. We're so excited for him, and this will be his first T-Day game as head coach as he's back at Troy, but in the big office this time, building the program in his image, and they're certainly going to do that on Saturday. We're very excited about that, and we're very excited to have him this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline.
Yes,
Coach,
we are.
Welcome back to your hometown here in 97.7 The Zone in Huntsville. You're with Drew and Scott. Good morning.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning, Drew, Scott. Appreciate you guys having me. It's always a pleasure to be with y'all. Appreciate everything you guys have always done for me over the years. Y'all have always been great, and glad to be able to spend a little time with you this morning.
Well, let's talk about it. And tomorrow is the end of spring camp. Have the 15 practices kind of flown by?
Yeah, they have. We spread it out as much as we could. To be honest with you, we've gone for the most part Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. A couple of exceptions here and there. We didn't practice last Saturday because I gave the team off the weekend for Easter, but it's gone fast. We've tried to spread it out as much as we could so we could get plenty of meetings in between practice days. And anytime you're a new staff and you're installing new schemes, offensive, defensive, and kicking game, having the off day in between to meet is really critical, and also lift to keep our guys strong, but meet so that we can continue to grow and learn what we're doing and polish what we're doing and get better. It's gone fast. The fact that it's April 22nd today, it feels like it was March 23rd. We were getting ready to start the next day not long ago, but excited that it's here to watch our guys go out and compete tomorrow.
Well, and Coach, I know that when we spoke with you when you first got the job, and I know we were communicating with you. We were super excited, and you had to hit the ground running. You were recruiting, and then also putting together your staff, and now you have all those pieces in place from a staff standpoint. Recruiting never stops, but for our listeners, talk about the staff you were able to put together, and as you said, you're implementing new schemes offensively and defensively and in the kicking game.
Yeah, so when I talked to you guys back in December last, I was really doing two jobs for about a month. I was here at Troy, and then I was also getting ready for the bowl game at the University of Kentucky. So for about a month, I didn't sleep very much, if at all. And then, but once I really only made two new hires in that month. I hired our offensive coordinator, Joe Craddock. Joe is a product of Briarwood down in Birmingham.
He is.
Joe was the offensive coordinator at Briarwood for Fred Yancey, legendary high school coach there. Joe went to Clemson and worked for Dabo Swinney and Chad Morris. And then Joe was Chad Morris's OC at SMU and at Arkansas. And then last, he's been at UAB the last couple of years. And so we hired Joe to run the offense, coach the quarterbacks. And then Sheil Woods, our defensive coordinator. Sheil last was the co-defensive coordinator in Army, which they've been really good on defense. They won 9 games last year, which at Army, that's not an easy job by any means because of all the tough things they have to deal with in regards to recruiting and roster management, all that stuff at Army, and the military aspect that's added to them. So they had done a really good job there. And Sheil and I had similar defensive backgrounds. We had clinic together in the off season on some stuff at times, and so I thought schematically it was enough of what we did at Kentucky, very similar, but also had some unique new wrinkles that would add value to our team here in regards to how we're going to be built. And then a couple other hires of note that I think are pretty strong is we were able to get Cole Popovich to come be our offensive line coach. Cole had been with the New England Patriots for 7 years. In the last couple of years there, he was the offensive line coach of the New England Patriots. And so Cole actually coached his son's high school team in 2021, and we had a lot of mutual connections and went through the interview process with Cole, and every conversation it became more and more apparent that he would be a tremendous fit here. So excited to have Cole. And then, one of the things I'm probably as excited about as anything is we've got 9 former high school coaches on our staff in some regard. Now, that doesn't mean they're all in our 10 full-time position coaches, but I got 9 guys on our staff that have coached high school football in Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, I mean, all over the place. And so that's something I'm really excited about, is having a staff that can relate and connect and engage, and it's been at the high school level, because I do feel strongly that a lot of high school coaches are some of the best teachers you'll see in the game of football, because they don't get to pick who their players are. They have to adjust and adapt each year. So excited about the group we put together. It's been fun to watch them work. We've got great staff cohesion. It's a really good group of football coaches and even a better group of men. So I'm proud of what we've been able to do there.
Troy head football coach John Sumrall joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, you mentioned the coaches. Now you also mentioned the players. You're starting to build that foundation this spring. How much fun has that been to watch these young men kind of grow into what you want to try to build?
Yeah, I think anytime there's change and there's things that are new, the first thing for us is make sure we establish relationships properly. And I don't care, it's kind of an interesting roster, because some of these guys I helped recruit when I was here last, the Carlton Marshalls and the Grant Betts and Austin Stidham, and a lot of those young men, KJ Robertson, a lot of these young men were on the team, or we recruited them on the team when I was here last. And then the previous staff, obviously the majority of the roster was recruited by them, and then we've brought in a handful of guys to mid-year, but they're all our guys, regardless of who recruited them. I don't care. I think everybody always says, well, wait till the coach gets his guys in there. Well, you know what? They're all our guys, because they all play for Troy, and I coach at Troy. And so for us, it's been about them understanding the expectations and the standards that we have in place and what we want our standard of excellence to look like each day and everything that we do. These guys have bought in tremendously. I think they've been hungry for the structure and the discipline that we've put in place. They've really embraced every day. I have had no days where – I take that back. I've only had one day all spring where I've had to kind of like jump-start them, I felt like, at practice. Every other day our guys have practiced with great energy and intensity. And so I think they're really growing. It's been fun to watch them come together. We still have a long way to go, and we still have some pieces we have to add here in the next month or so to bolster and supplement our roster. We've got 4 or 5 additions that we're going to have to bring in here soon. But I really do believe that we're heading the right direction, and our guys are buying into what we're asking them to do.
And, Coach, it's been a big topic on our show this week, and so I'll ask you because you have to add these pieces. And, of course, you dealt with it at Kentucky and the transfer portal. Wan'Dale Robinson was a huge part of Kentucky football this year. You got him from Nebraska. How is the transfer portal affecting you at Troy as far as being able to add pieces? Because, again, there's so much movement now with that. And the big topic of this year has been NIL. How is that, the NIL aspect been for you so far at Troy?
Yeah, so I'd say first, when you talk about the transfer portal, the way we're going to use the transfer portal here will be very similar to what our model was at Kentucky in regards to we're going to supplement our roster here with either top-end frontline players that we have maybe a need at or a depth issue where we don't have enough numbers at a certain spot. Mm-hmm. We will not exclusively go through the transfer portal to form our football team.
Right.
Now, having said that, if we didn't add the pieces we added at Kentucky last year in the portal, we wouldn't have finished 10-3 and second in the SEC East. Because you look at who all we had. Will Levis, our quarterback at Kentucky, was at Penn State. You mentioned Wan'Dale Robinson was at Nebraska. Jaquez Jones was at Ole Miss. Dare Rosenthal, who ended up being our starting left tackle, was at LSU. So there's 4 or 5 pieces, I think, at our team at Kentucky last year. If we didn't add them, we don't have the kind of year we had. And so you take those 4 or 5 guys off the team, we're not the same team. And so for us here, it's going to be about how do you add those valuable pieces that can bring that kind of experience or maybe talent or depth to your roster that make your team that much better. So we're not going to build our roster exclusively to the portal. It's going to be more of a supplementation piece for us, and it's going to be very targeted on certain needs that we have. And then the name, image, likeness deal, I'm for anything that's for our players, and I think this stuff can help the players. I do think you have to keep into perspective, what this is all really about, but we're for the players. The biggest way we're using it here at Troy is less, I think you're seeing some of the SEC schools, maybe it start to impact recruiting. Here, it's more so about rewarding guys that are doing things the right way and doing it at a really high level on the field and off the field. And so less so for us about recruiting than it is about rewarding the young men who local businesses and in our community want to be associated with and attached to. The 2 things about the portal and name, image, likeness that I think you have to keep in mind is in the portal, making sure that we're building great relationships and encouraging our young men at the first sign of adversity. The answer is not just to pick up and leave. Now, there may be times it is time to move on, but don't leave just because maybe something hard is happening, because sometimes hard is good. And then the other piece is making sure that guys understand that we're developing them all the same, and certain guys may get NIL opportunities. Well, they've earned them probably, and people aren't going to associate themselves with others through NIL unless it's probably been earned more times than not. So you're personally responsible for your own outcomes. You make your own opportunities in the NIL world. We don't create them. Players create them as much as anybody for themselves.
Let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow you get your first
T-Day.
spring game. Yeah, T-Day for Troy football. How do you attack that? How do you get through all that one?
Yeah, so we will divide up into 2 teams. Our Cardinal team will have our 1 offense, and our white team will have our 1 defense. So they'll play against each other. And then the Cardinal team will have the 2 defense, and the white team will have the 2 offense, and so they'll play against each other. And there will be a few guys that are have two jerseys out there ready to go up and down as the game goes, because we'll move some guys around to create some different pairings in regards to how we want to play the game. The offensive line for us is going to wear black just because they're going to be a lot of movement there within the game, not like half by half, but more like it could be drive by drive. We're moving different guys around to see different guys play different spots on the O-line. So we will have 4 quarters. Each one will be a 15-minute running clock, so we're not going to stop the ball at all stop the clock at all the dead balls. And then we're gonna offensively keep scoring normal. We will reward the defense for defensive victory. So a 3-and-out, the defense is going to get 3 points. A takeaway, the defense will get 3 points. If they get a return for a touchdown, it'll count as a touchdown. And then any punt is going to be a point for that team's defense. And so we're gonna play the game somewhat normal, but create some defensive scoring opportunities. And then, you're going to have to kind of follow the jersey movement. There will be a lot of action there, but really just want to see our guys execute at a high level, go out and compete with each other, not against each other. We're all on the same team, but we want to compete with each other and make each other better and step our game up to another level. Get a great opportunity to play in front of our fans. We've got tremendous fans here and a lot of activities going on tomorrow, and we're excited to engage with them and have them here. And then really would like to see us get out as healthy as possible. I mean, I think every coach in college football goes to the spring game. If you're healthy at the end of it, you feel good about it. So we like to play a good, clean game where we compete. And I want to see, it's funny now. I want to see both sides have success. Usually I just wanted to shut the offense out every day. And now I'm like, I get to cheer when we score on offense. That's probably been the biggest adjustment at practice. I've never really cheered when the other team scored at practice. Now I get to celebrate with the offensive guys scoring a little bit.
Well, we're talking to Huntsville's own John Sumrall, the new head football coach of the Troy Trojans. And, Coach, you've got to be excited. I know you're implementing new schemes, with your new staff in all 3 phases, but you have a lot of experience back on this football team. 10 starters offensively, 9 defensively, and, of course, your kicking game I know you're excited about. But talk about how the players, you said that they've really bought in, but talk about the progress you guys have made offensively and the outlook there, and defensively. I know you're a defensive guy. You've made your bones that way as a player and coach, but I know you have to be excited with the experience coming back on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, we all know the record here hasn't been maybe what we want it to be, but we do have some good players, and with that, we also have some good players that have good experience. And I think you can learn from all experiences. And I think this team, through maybe not having the record that's one of the last couple of years, but some of these guys having played, they've learned, how you play in some of these tough games. And I remember I go back to when I was here last as an assistant, and we were 21-4 our last 2 years here when I was here. We won a lot of really close games. And the last couple of years, we've just been on the wrong side of a lot of those close games. And so hopefully those guys have learned some things through those experiences. And then I think offensively, we want to run the ball and play the game with physicality, and we want to take shots off of our run game and create explosive plays that way. But we want to be a physical-minded football team. We don't want to be passive. We want to attack the defense and put stress on the defense. And then defensively, we're going to be multiple. I mean, we people have described our defense at Kentucky, and they will here, as a 3-4 in structure. But we're going to line up in some 3-4 stuff, some 4-3 stuff, 4-2-5. It's going to be multiple enough that people have to deal with us getting a lot of different looks. And then the kicking game, just making sure that we're executing and winning the hitting yardage there. We do have to replace a really good long snapper. Cam K last year he's going to have a shot to make an NFL roster here this offseason. Cam's a young man that I was actually a part of recruiting when I was here last time, and we've lost Cam, so we got to solidify and shore up our long snapping situation. But we do have a lot of guys returning with experience. Now we got to use that experience to help turn into victories, and those guys have to draw upon their experience to help them know how to do things the right way.
Well, Coach, I'm looking over your roster, and I know you mentioned the transfer portal. You want to bring guys in. You mentioned all this stuff, but how important is it, true though, to stay with this in-state talent that is so prevalent. I look at your roster now, and it's just dotted with guys from the state of Alabama.
No, there's no doubt, Scott. From Huntsville to Mobile, man, we're gonna go through this entire state with a fine-tooth comb. I mean, I think we've got as good a high school football and players and coaches in this state as anywhere in America. And so for us, if we're gonna scour this state from top to bottom to make sure that we know about every player that could potentially be the right fit here. Now, does that mean we're going to take every young man that everybody brings up to us? No, we can't. We have a limited roster. But this state is vital to our success. We're very, very fortunate and blessed to be in a state where football is important. High school football is very important in the state. And so I think that makes our job even better because we get young men in this program very close proximity to our university that love football, that understand the game, that know how to compete, and that have played at a high level. And so that's probably one of the more exciting things for me. And I've recruited this state, obviously being from here, having recruited the state everywhere I've been, with every job I've been at, our ties in the state are vital, and we will continue to build this roster through the state of Alabama. And then we'll also go to the surrounding states of Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee to really anchor the rest of our roster. But the state of Alabama will be the backbone of what we do from a recruiting standpoint and when it comes to high school players, for sure, without question.
Yeah, and we look forward to that, no doubt, and we look forward to seeing Troy be a presence in our community here and throughout the state of Alabama. And, Coach, I know before you know it, you're going to be September the 3rd, you're going to be opening on the road at Ole Miss against Lane Kiffin. And then I just think this is the coolest deal that it's like fate that your first home game as the head coach of the Troy Trojans on September the 10th is against the Alabama A&M Bulldogs from your hometown.
No doubt. I'll tell you a pretty cool story. Man, I was excited about coaching at Ole Miss and having coached there. That'll be fun too, because we still have a lot of friends and relationships we made from our time there when we were there in 2018. But one really cool story about the opportunity to coach against A&M, and they've done a really good job with their program. They're talking about the transfer portal, man. They've added some great transfers over the last calendar year. But as a young man growing up in Huntsville and going to Grissom High School, my mom and dad, they'll actually be in town this weekend for our spring game. They get here tonight. They'll tell you, I used to drive out in the summers on my own to Lewis Crew Stadium and run the stadium steps because at Grissom we didn't have a stadium at the high school, obviously. And so on the weekends, when we maybe had an off day or whatever in the off season, I would drive out to Alabama A&M, and I would sneak in and go run the stadium steps all the time. Like I'd probably do it once a week throughout my high school career. And so to be able to have a home game against a team from my hometown will be really exciting, and it is fitting. And I got a lot of respect for what they've done. That staff's done a really good job of building a good roster, and it'll be a great opportunity for us. We'll have our hands full. They're doing a good job, so we got to get ready for that one too. That'll be a big game.
And for those that don't know, those steps are not short there.
Oh, they are not. I have gone up and down and almost been out of breath.
That is an amazing feat.
Oh Lord, we're doing broadcasting and things of that nature after games. You all the way to the top.
That's a lot of steps.
Yeah, it's a lot of steps. Well, Coach, we appreciate the time. We know it's a busy one for you. 4 o'clock for T-Day to kick off tomorrow.
And Coach, I love your ability to drive a golf cart and do interviews.
I know that's awesome.
Well,
multitask.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that. That was a great way to introduce our staff. There's still a couple more to be rolled out here soon, but I got to give where credit's due there. Credit where credit's due there. That was Caleb Gray. He used to work here now at Stanford, and then Adam Prendergast, our SID. That was their tag team idea, and so I can assure you, I might have some creativity. It's probably got more to do with X's and O's. They were the masters behind that, of coming up with that, and we had a good time we're just glad that no one was injured in the filming and there was no accident.
Did you have to find the route, or did they tell you the route, or were you like just trying to drive for as long as you could?
Yeah, I know this campus pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
So we drove different guys, different routes, and so I just kind of mixed it up, and I knew that we wanted it to go, 3 to 5 minutes ish, and so I kind of ad-libbed and asked the questions as we went, and changed the questions up a little bit depending on who it was. It was a fun experience. But you guys come down and maybe we'll video one with y'all sometime.
Hey, we would look forward to that. We look forward to being down hopefully this fall. But we appreciate your time, and we look forward to T-Day tomorrow. And then, of course, when you kick off your first season, we're all going to be Trojans fans here. But thank you, sir, and good luck.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great weekend.
All right, let's get that break in. That was John Sumrall, head coach of the Troy Trojans, joining us. We'll have that conversation for you up on our social media pages here in a little bit, but let's get that break in.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning from the traffic center. Still got traffic backed up into the 2031Y on the north side of Decatur. Had a wreck on Highway 20 eastbound up near Bibb Garrett. That's really been slowing things down there. Everything else is actually run pretty smooth this morning. I'm not seeing any other major snags. Are you over 35 and overweight? 7 different hormones can make it impossible for you to lose weight. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
The world champs are back. The Braves are out to defend their world championship. And behind Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, Max Fried, and this loaded 2022 roster, a repeat is within reach.
There goes Ozzie, 2-2 on the way, hit well. Deep center field. Might have ourselves a tie ball game. You betcha.
And we'll bring you every huge moment of the Braves 2022 season right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188, and you can email me at Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan@danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F-150. You'll get exactly the color and options you want, and Woody Anderson Ford will save you 5% off MSRP, plus you'll get any additional Ford factory rebates. Or if you need a new ride today, choose a Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicle. We have over 100 to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with our 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of George and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Hi, welcome back. Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Short time left in hour number 1. And just had Troy head football coach John Sumrall.
Love that.
Former Grissom Tiger joining us. And yesterday, another former Grissom Tiger doing some good things.
1-0 the pitch. Foscue drills one high in the air to center field. Rave goes back to the wall, looking up. That ball's off the fence and gone. Grand slam for Justin Foscue.
That was the first grand slam of the season for the Frisco Rough Riders. Justin Foscue connecting.
Stud. I mean, I did see Brewer Hicklin's first time. I'm going to tell you something. It was a bomb.
He's had 2 now. He's already.
But the first one went over the bullpen. I'm telling you, he got all of it. And it was
we got 2
gone.
Local guys really swinging the bats well now in the
And
minors.
I think both of them, I would not be surprised if they, in the near future, I don't know about this year, but I just think they're both going to be in the big leagues, man. I mean, Foscue, to me, the 2 greatest players I ever saw in a Grissom uniform. One of them didn't make the big leagues, and it still surprises me to this day. And he's
Hunter
now
Morris.
He's now the hitting coach at the University of Alabama.
The injury that he sustained in Nashville was, if he did not get hurt that season,
I think he's in the
Hunter
big
Morris
leagues.
Clearly with the Brewers that year at first base.
Yeah, it was just some fate.
Yep.
But I think that Justin Foscue and Hunter Morris are the 2 greatest players that I ever saw in a Grissom uniform on a baseball diamond. And, one went to Auburn, Hunter, and one went to Mississippi State, Foscue, and both had great careers. And, of course, watching Brewer Hicklin grow up here and be a Huntsville Crimson Panther, I just think that those 2 guys, Brewer and Foscue, are both going to eventually be in the big leagues. And what a moment that will be if they can play against each other, Texas versus Kansas City. As a native of Huntsville, you should be all over that and be watching that. That is must-see television.
Yep. They're still competitive against each other still. I mean, they still go back and forth with each other. It's good stuff.
No doubt.
All right, that's hour 1 in the books. We've got a lot of stuff to get to when we kick off hour number 2. How about this? The NCAA playing oversight rules panel, or whatever they want to call it, made some changes yesterday. Interesting changes. We'll explain that.
They saw their shadows, right?
Yeah, well, maybe.
They actually woke up.
Maybe. I don't know if they've woke up or they've just hit the snooze button.
Well, my blood pressure's probably going to skyrocket when I hear this.
Know. Plus, we got Kentucky basketball to talk about, an interesting situation there, and some other stuff along. Plus, Al Borges.
Full service gas. Pump it.
And now a small business setback, delivered by a kind French stranger.
Monsieur, there was an accident. The windshield of your catering van is, how do you say, kaput? But Progressive has an extensive network of repair shops. Now, we sing about the old days. Brave marin revient de guerre.
When things go wrong with your small business, it's comforting to know you have Progressive Commercial. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Croissance for everyone.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Hey,
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning from the traffic center. Still got traffic backed up into the 2031Y on the north side of Decatur. Had a wreck on Highway 20 eastbound up near Bibb Garrett. That's really been slowing things down there. Everything else has actually run pretty smooth this morning. I'm not seeing any other major snags. Are you over 35 and overweight? 7 different hormones can make it impossible for you to lose weight. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A beautiful Friday afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, falling into the mid and upper 50s. As we head into the overnight, we're going to continue this trend as we head into the weekend. Plenty of sunshine for your Saturday. Spend the weekend outside. Saturday afternoon highs climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the lower 60s through the overnight, early Sunday morning. A partly sunny sky for your Sunday afternoon, still temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
First round of the NBA playoffs, all home teams the underdog tonight. The Hawks +1 at home against the Heat in Game 3, 221.5 the total. The Bulls a 2.5-point home dog against the Bucks, the total 223, and the Pelicans plus 1.5 against the Suns, 216.5 the set total. Fury versus White Saturday in London. Tyson Fury looking to defend his WBC and the ring heavyweight belts. He's a -550 favorite against Dylan White at +410. Baseball, the Braves hosting the Marlins this weekend. Atlanta -140 on the money line. Miami +130. The over-under 8.5. Kyle Wright getting the start tonight for Atlanta.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Indeed, it is hour 2 of Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, your full-service sports station. We bring it to you on a Friday. Yes, we are having a good day here on a Friday. 256-576-4977.
Hey, Landon, I know you're not listening. You're asleep. You're going to get a morning phone call for full service gas.
I was going to text him, but it was only 6 o'clock in the morning. And I can text him and ask him, but he's not going to answer in the next hour, I can guarantee you. But anyway, we got a lot to get to here in hour number 2.
And another... we've lost another, I wouldn't say Hall of Fame player, but a guy that kind of defined his era in the NFL. I was just looking at this going on the ticker over here on our televisions here at the studios. Yeah. The Mad Bomber, Darryl LaMonica, former Raider quarterback, passes away at 80 years old. He kind of defined his era of football for Al Davis, and we've lost another guy that meant a lot to – a lot of people think the 70s were maybe the greatest era of NFL football, but the Mad Bomber, Darryl LaMonica, was a huge part of that.
Okay. Did not know that. Did not know that happened.
Just saw that he passed away at 80 years old while they're giving our NBA update. Everybody knows how thrilled I am about that.
No, I know you are.
Yeah.
And what else are you very thrilled about in the world of when it comes to college football?
Yeah.
The targeting rule.
Yeah.
Where you get ejected from a game.
If somebody ducks at the last second.
Yeah. So yesterday the NCAA the NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel approved some changes for the upcoming football season.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is in their words, and I'm going with their words because I want to make sure I get this completely right. In their words, it says, in games that have instant replay, I'm pretty sure most games have instant replay, but still, when a targeting foul occurs in the second half, note second half, the carryover penalty of sitting out the first half of that player's next game will be eligible for further appeal. The process will begin with a conference submitting a request to the NCAA National Coordinator of Officials, who will review the video of the play. If it is obvious that a player was incorrectly penalized for targeting, the call would be overturned and the player would be cleared to play in the first half of the next game.
But he still would have been ejected from that game.
And it doesn't say first half. So it can only be appealed if it happens in the second half, not the first half.
Because if they eject you in the first half, you're suspended for the second half.
Yes.
Even if they screw it up.
And so they can't, there's no appeal for that one.
It's
only an appeal
dumb.
if it's the second half. And the conference has to submit the appeal.
Here's
which
what
has
they
to
need
go
to be
Steve Shaw.
doing. They need to do this where it has to be like you accumulate maybe 3 targeting fouls in a season. And then if you get called for targeting, you can appeal it after the game, and if they overturn it, it doesn't count as one of the 3 toward getting suspended. It's really not hard. I don't think that these dudes need to be getting thrown out for the first time this happens. This is really stupid. I think it should be you have to accumulate 2 to 3 targeting fouls and then do it. And I understand they think that they've been able to get guys to use better technique and stop leading with their head, but still, to me, that's the way it should be. It should be one of those things. It's just like the technical fouls in the NB double dunk, the NBA. And that's, where you have to accumulate so many technical fouls and you're already and you're suspended automatically.
I think
okay?
it's 6, yeah.
That's the way it should be, man. It shouldn't be that or if you get 2 technicals in a game. Like if somebody gets 2 targeting fouls in a game, then he's ejected.
Or 2 unsportsmanlike penalties of anything.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
That should be how it's done. Not because somebody ducks at the last minute and you hit them in the head. Half the time, sometimes they still screw it up, though. It's targeting and they don't call it, or it's not targeting and they do.
So to me, this here does nothing.
It doesn't do anything. It's stupid.
You have to appeal it only if it happens in the second half going forward to the next game. Not if the referees make a mistake in the first half.
Not if the officials blow it.
Yes. Only in the second half can you appeal it. All right. So the other thing that they're doing, they're not done.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They're not done.
Of course not.
This one's good. To address teams that are awarded an injury timeout through deceptive actions, panel members...
in other words, faking.
Panel members approved a reporting and investigation process.
Oh, what?
Approved a reporting and investigation process. Now, this comes a direct...
So we're going to have Matlock doing football.
This is from the NCAA.org site. So, I mean, this is not a third person.
I realize with what I just said, a lot of people don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah.
Boy, we're talking about self-service gas stations in Matlock. One of the best. I mean, that was pre-Law and Order. Matlock
it was.
Pre-Law and Order.
People don't give Andy Griffith credit for this one, but I mean, the Andy Griffith show is still being replayed, but Matlock was classic.
I mean, it was almost – I mean, it was – look, in the grand scheme of things, Murder, She Wrote started it all.
Yeah, they did.
And then Matlock came along.
Oh,
Matlock,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know we had, what was it, L.A. Law? We had L.A. Law in the late 80s. But Matlock was phenomenal. All right, to address teams that are awarded an injury timeout through deceptive actions, panel members approved a reporting and investigative process. Schools and conferences will be able to report questionable scenarios to the National Coordinator of Officials, who will review and provide feedback to the conference for further action. Any penalties levied would be up to the conference office or school involved.
Here we go. So we're going to have a flop committee. Well, they need to have Scottie Pippen Jr. on it, but he went to the NBA.
How about
Vlade
that?
Divac.
So, in other words, you could have. I mean, schools are going to turn on other schools. That's what you're going to have.
It's just something else. It's just something else, and then it's something else for Jimbo to talk about and make 6,000 words a minute.
You're going to have schools turn on other schools. Basically, it's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna see in a game, so and so is going to get their feelings hurt because they feel like there was some phantom injuries. They're going to turn the school in.
Right.
That school's going to get investigated, and you're going to be like, okay, well, we know where that one happened. But again, everything's going to be investigated by the National Coordinator of Officials. The other one, the NCAA committee considered several in-game options to address this, including, so this is going on to this, so they did consider several in-game options to deter this, including altering the injury timeout rule to remove the injured student-athlete for more than one play. Currently, an injured player is required to sit out one play, but they want to try to adjust that. This concept was debated at length, but the committee was concerned with the additional issues that could be created and did not want to encourage players to continue to participate when injured. So in other words, everybody suggested the best way to stop this was to make that player sit out for the rest of the series. That's not going to happen because they don't want to encourage players that are really hurt to continue to participate when injured.
Okay.
I told you the NCAA didn't quite wake up and see their shadow.
No.
They just kind of hit the snooze button.
I think in most cases when a guy's hurt, he's still going to come off for a play or two. Okay? If it's serious enough where you have to leave the field and you have to be checked out by the trainers. So, again, I don't think that's going to be that big. Now, if you're just have the breath knocked out of you or get hit where you don't need to be, not to be too graphic, well, then you might be able to stay in the game. But most of the time, so this is really just, I guess they're saying, well, now you don't want to penalize teams for if you lose a key player for a play. I mean,
yeah,
I don't really think. I mean, let's spend more time on the targeting rule, you know? I mean, and tweaking that process and unsportsmanlike conduct and taunting. Yeah. I agree there shouldn't be taunting in the game, but spend more time on that.
The committee members did discuss how the pace of play appears to be contributing to the injury thing.
Up-tempo.
And quote from the Football Rules Committee chair, we considered all options to address this issue, including allowing both teams an opportunity to substitute after a first down. This is another step to consider in the future from David Shaw, the chair of the Football Rules Committee.
Oh, Lord. I'm glad I didn't have any gravy coming. I might have spit it everywhere. Not a big David Shaw fan, but I do agree that both teams should have the opportunity to substitute.
All right, other rule changes for this year in college football. There's two of them, but they're really not anything that you're going to probably notice. If a ball carrier simulates a feet-first slide, a.k.a. the Kenny Pickett
fake slide,
rule,
you can't do that anymore. I agree with that.
Officials will declare the runner down at that spot.
Yeah.
So no more. Remember the Kenny Pickett move? Yep, that's done.
Yep.
And defensive holding will remain a 10-yard penalty, but will always carry an automatic first down.
Yeah, because those confuse me sometimes. I used to think that was the case but sometimes, to say it's 2nd and 20 and you get a 10-yard penalty for defensive holding, it would be, they replay the down, it would be 2nd and 10. It wouldn't be a first down.
So now any defensive holding penalty will automatic carry.
And I agree with that. I think that should be the case, even though you could, in theory, what if it's 3rd and 30 and you get called for holding? But again, I think a defensive holding penalty should carry a first down.
All right, so there you go. There's your NCAA news, your NCAA rules changes going in for college football this year, and not going in for college football this year.
Just
remember,
I think
submit
they blew it on the
all
targeting.
your appeals to the committee.
Oh, good Lord. That's what they used to say with Matlock when they went to commercial. Remember that?
I don't know. It's interesting. Just pass the buck, basically, is what the NCAA
They always do that.
All right. 256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And if you want to get in, you got just a few minutes to get in, because coming up here in just a few minutes.
Got a special guest, man.
Yeah, Al Borges.
He's been on the drive a couple times. I've been able to hear him. Coach does a great job. And he was the offensive coordinator, Scott. I know you had a chance to cover them up close.
Yeah, 2004.
I wasn't in the movie. I wasn't in the media business at that point in time. But certainly followed that season very closely for the Auburn Tigers. It was a season that really, I guess what you would say, jump-started everything for Tommy Tuberville for the end of his tenure, as far as put him in a position of power at Auburn, because as everybody remembers, in 2002 he was teetering before they upset Alabama, and his coach Franchione had one foot out the door to ruin his career, and then in 2003 Auburn had a disappointing season because USC had trounced them in the first game, and they still had a winning record, but it was still considered a disappointment.
Yeah.
But that 2004 season was one of the greatest in Auburn history, and they used that for Coach Tuberville to spend several more seasons on the Plains until being dismissed in 2008. But he reached his zenith there, because that Auburn team went undefeated. Because they didn't have the college football playoff system in place, they weren't able to.
BCS system at the time.
They weren't able to have a chance to compete or to play, in a playoff, which they would have against either USC or Oklahoma. But again, and what was unfortunate for Auburn that year is it was all because OU and USC were undefeated as well. But they were ranked higher than Auburn at the start of the season, and Auburn was never able to, even though they were in the SEC, they were never able to jump over them in the polls.
You could say that was one of the big reasons why we started getting the quells
for
a
college football playoff.
Yeah, there's always a reason for something. And the state of Alabama, somehow, some way, is usually part of that. All right, let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Brandon's with us. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon.
Guys, good morning. Is Mark Emmert on this committee for rules and all this stuff? Because that's the only way you could ever explain it being quite that stupid.
I don't know. It's just the NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel, so I don't imagine he is part of the panel. The chair of it is David Shaw from Stanford.
Which is all you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about the other day.
Stealing money.
Has he stolen more or less money than Jamarcus Russell?
I'd say more. I mean, he's still employed, Jamarcus is not.
Yeah, I guess that was Jamarcus got about $35 million guaranteed.
Yeah, because back then there wasn't the cap on the rookies, man.
Yeah, he got all that money guaranteed and then went to Golden Corral, and that was the end of it.
Oh Lord.
Well, gentlemen, I don't know if y'all saw. I was telling Chad. I said I was going to call you yesterday, but I had a Nintendo injury.
A Nintendo injury? Is this a Wii thing? What'd you do?
No, we found the old Nintendo and got the power pad out.
Uh-oh.
And we were racing Turtle, and my dog just all of a sudden in the garage, he did me like that pitcher did that hitter around in third.
He tackled you?
Oh, he took me out. I was messing with my son. I was running, and then I would jump and turn 180 like I was running backwards because I was still out running my son. He hadn't figured out the tricks on that power pad, and that joker took me out. I'm in a little air boot on my foot right now.
Well, you probably could use a full-service gas station. Then,
Yeah,
too.
you could.
Yeah.
In either Jersey or Oregon. Quack, quack.
I lived in New Jersey when I was in the Air Force from 2001 to 2005.
Well, can you confirm for us all this stuff?
Oh, you cannot pump your own gas up there.
That's what I told you.
Where at, in New Jersey?
Yes, because he lived in Jersey for like from 01 to 05.
And I got a ticket for making a left-hand turn.
Yeah, you can't turn left either. I forgot about that. Somebody told me that. You can't turn left in Jersey.
Nope, they have jug handles and roundabouts, and that was the first and only time I'd ever seen those up until recent years down here. But the cop pulled me over. He said, "You made 2 left turns back there." I said, "Yeah." He said, "That's illegal in this state." And I said, "You can't turn left." He said, "No, sir." He said, "It's considered a dangerous action."
Wow.
Yeah.
So he showed me how you go around the jug handle. You go around, turn right, circle back to the intersection, and go straight across. So now when you go to New Jersey and you're in the Air Force or Fort Dix, New Jersey, in the Army, they give you a term class there where you come in and they explain to you you cannot pump your own gas and you cannot turn left.
Yeah, I'm reading it now, and it says that a violation of the law in New Jersey for getting out and pumping your own gas could be a fine for $50 to $250.
Good Lord.
And it's been that way since 1949.
Yeah, well, that's what Richard told us. He said you can't
Wow.
pump your own gas.
You can't. There's a lot of things that you can't do up there, and that was why after several years of living up there, I was glad to get back down here, because those people up there treat you like you are full-on stupid and don't want to allow you to do anything. And the main reason I called, I wanted to ask you guys, petty. I love people that are petty and they do not hide it. And this Aaron Boone, Miguel Cabrera, I love it. When you say, you're going to get 3,000 hits, but you ain't going to get it on me, I'm going to walk you on purpose. That makes my day.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, thanks for the call, bud.
Thank you, man.
We'll get
Thanks
to that.
for educating us.
Yeah, we'll get to that probably in the headlines, because we got to get this break in, because when we come back, Al Borges is going to join us, and we want to make sure we get some time with him. Let's get this break in. Al Borges coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The internet is everything. Actually, everything. And with WoW Internet, everything is good. Good streaming, good shopping, good gaming. And with an extra reliable connection, it's all good all the time. Get super fast gig speed internet from WoW for only $49.99 a month. Plus get $300 on us when you sign up at Wowway.com. Wow, that's good internet. Wow. Limited to new customers with autopay and paperless billing. Subject to change. Terms apply.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F-150. You'll get exactly the color and options you want, and Woody Anderson Ford will save you 5% off MSRP, plus you'll get any additional Ford factory rebates. Or if you need a new ride today, choose a Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicle. We have over 100 to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with our 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of George and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com. Spring has sprung with a hint of summer right around the corner. And with all the travel restrictions easing up, now is the time to consider the Lodge at Guntersville State Park for a quick, relaxing getaway. At the Lodge at Guntersville State Park, all the rooms are routinely disinfected and cleaned to the highest standard. And views across Guntersville Lake are as gorgeous as ever. It's been too long, all cooped up at home. Make plans now to spend a weekend at the Lodge or cabins or campgrounds of Guntersville State Park today. Visit alapark.com for more information.
Working on a wreck at Governor's in Triana. That one had 3 vehicles involved with some injury. Looks like 20 eastbound at Bibb Garrett is clear now. That area appears to be moving. Popeye's $6 shrimp tackle box is back with 8 butterfly shrimp, a signature side, and a buttermilk biscuit. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Local sports is covered right here.
Well, appreciate what you guys do for sports, but also for high school sports and taking time to talk to us. That means a lot, and appreciate what you guys do and appreciate you having us on.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. 97.7 ESPN The Zone with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. It is 8:25 on a Friday morning, and we were talking about it briefly a little bit in hour number 2. And I remember on the sidelines in 2004 shooting a lot of video for that Auburn football team. And the offense, I mean, it was that ground and pound offense and Jason Campbell throwing the ball. But that defense in 2004, that was a vicious Auburn defense in 2004. Junior Rose Green and company. Wow, what a hard-hitting offense. But the offense put up some really good numbers, though. I'm not going to say that the offense put up some fantastic number. And the man behind that offense was Al Borges.
Yes, it was. From 2004, that first season, to 2007, he was a huge part of Tommy Tuberville's tenure at Auburn. That was one of the most well-balanced Tiger teams offensively and defensively that we've ever seen. One of the best 1-2 punches ever in Carnell Cadillac Williams, now the running backs coach for Auburn, and Ronnie Brown, now the sideline analyst. Both those guys, first-round draft picks, drafted in the top 5, went on to really solid pro careers before going into the next phase of their football careers. Of course, Ronnie with Auburn on the sidelines, and then Carnell coaching at IMG Academy, and then back at his alma mater. But Al Borges has got a book coming out about this team, one of the best in SEC and Auburn history, and he's been good enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach Borges, you're with Drew DeArmond and Scott Theisen. Good morning. How are you?
Great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing well,
good.
Coach.
This is an honor to bring you in. I know you've been on the drive with Stephen West a little bit, so it's great to have you here early in the morning. And, man, when we start talking about that 2004 team, Coach, it just brings up a lot of great memories.
Oh, God, I tell you guys, it was – you know what I did? I went back for the Iron Bowl. I took my son back to the Iron Bowl because he wants to go to Auburn. You know, he's only about 4 years old when I was there, but he kind of got it in his blood. So I said, I'm going to take him back and show him the best of Auburn, you know. And when I went, God, it was like I never left. I mean, it was 18 years ago that team went undefeated. And when I came back to Auburn, it was like it was yesterday. I mean, more people were just, you know, quick to come up and acknowledge me, and just, you know, it was such a neat deal. So when I got back, I thought, God, I got to do something. I mean, my son definitely wants to go to Auburn now, and I got to do something just, you know, just as a legacy or something, you know. So I said, I'm going to write a book, and I see how long I last. If I may start writing it for a week and say, I don't want to do this. But it wrote itself. In 3 weeks, I had a first draft done. So I was really fired up about it.
And, Coach, I know you're telling us how the project came together. How did you, now that you're telling us how, talk about the who all, I mean, we don't want to give everything away, but just talk about, the project. I know it had to have been something when you started broaching it with the folks at Auburn, who were, a lot of those folks still there, that you have relationships with, had to be a project that excited them a lot, because that team means so much to the fabric of the university.
Yes, it does, and it did. Well, what was interesting is I wanted to make it a book, guys, that wasn't like they've done a few publications on this.
Right.
This is different. This is totally from a coach's perspective. I tell everybody, this is not Hemingway or John Grisham. This is Al Borges. Okay, it's written like a coach, in coach's words. I wanted to put people in the huddle. I wanted to put them on the sidelines. I wanted to have them join us in meeting rooms, in a locker room, so that they had a feel for what it was like, And I used, what I did is I went back. I had 13 DVDs of every game we played. So I went back over the games, and they triggered more memories. I would see like a timeout where Jason would come over and talk to us. Like, I remember what I told him there, so I'd write it down. So many things came back to me. I have a pretty good memory anyway, but what I did is I did the games. I did 13 chapters of the games, depictions of the games, when I made the call, why I made the call, what happened on the call, and some funny anecdotes that went with that. But the beginning of the book is more about my transition into the South. Taking the job. I was kind of an underdog to get the job, but then going through what I call my cousin Vinny moment. I came in and I was Vinny Gambini. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know. I didn't know how to dress. I didn't know how to talk. I cussed too much.
I love that movie, by the way, though, Coach.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Every time I watch it, I think of my first year at Auburn, because that is me. I mean, a California version of Vinny Gambini is what it was. But you'll find some hilarious stories, because I tell some stories that haven't been told. Some of them are funny. Some of them are compelling. Some of them are interesting. Some of them are, I didn't want to make it a tell-all book, but I did want to be true to what happened. So it's very candid, but I think for Auburn fans, it'll be really intriguing. But for just the normal football fan that wants to see how a majestic team came together after a tremendous amount of turmoil the year before, I think it's a pretty cool read. And it'll probably be 160 to 200 pages. It's something you can read in 2-3 days. So.
Well, Coach, one of the games in that 2004 season that sticks out to me was that Auburn-LSU game, where Auburn had the missed extra point, but there was a penalty on LSU, gave Auburn another chance.
Nick Saban coaching the Tigers at that time, the Bayou Bengals.
Inside Jordan-Hare Stadium that day.
Right.
That's one of the games that sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, that's the game. The title of that chapter is a fist fight disguised as a football game. And when it was so physical. I mean, God, dog, I said, those guys are killing each other down there. And it was, they gave John Vaughn a mulligan because something happened. I still don't know what they called, to be honest with you. I couldn't even explain the book. But there was some penalty that let us kick the thing again.
Yeah.
And we ended up beating 10-9. It's one of those seasons, a lot of good stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened that in other seasons doesn't happen, and you end up losing 3 or 4 games. But, I mean, earlier in that drive, Cadillac Williams stole the ball away from Corey Webster on a throwback screen. Webster had the ball right in his hand. He'd have taken it running for a touchdown. Cadillac ripped the ball away from him. We averted a disaster there, and then later on, Anthony Mix caught a ball on the sideline that popped up in the air, and the LSU guy grabbed it and tiptoed, but was out of bounds, slightly out of bounds. So we could have lost the game in a couple different things. But that just seems the way the whole season went. There were so many things that went our way, and we made our fate, don't get me wrong, but you got to go undefeated, you got to get a few breaks, and we did. And that's the game that stands out to me more than anything, because we got to re-kick an extra point,
And, Coach, I've got to ask you, though, so much of coaching is connections and relationships. Coach Tuberville brought you in that year. As you said, you were the underdog. What led to you coming to Auburn? What was the connection that you had with Coach Tuberville to end up getting the opportunity?
How about none? I didn't have any connection. No, this is what happened. You guys, this is interesting because I was in Indiana, and I was a controversial thing. I mean, when I came in, everybody goes, what are they doing? I remember Feinbaum went after me pretty good, and that's in the book. You just as a little teaser. The Feinbaum, my first interview with Feinbaum's in there, and what happened is 3 other guys that interviewed for the job, and I called Kevin Yoxel. Yoxel was the strength coach.
That's right, long time, yeah.
I had been with him at UCLA. And I had heard at the 11th hour, they said, hey, there's a job at Auburn. Well, I called Yox up, and he says, I'll be happy to go in and talk to Tuberville, but he says, this thing's about over. They've interviewed 3 guys. I think he can make a decision here pretty quick. So when I got off the phone, I thought, got it. I don't think this is going to work out. Well, the next day, he calls back, hey, he wants to interview you. You go, you're kidding me. He goes, yeah. I said, all right. Then and let me tell you, I went and I watched them in winter conditioning, okay, when I came on the interview. And I saw receivers that were rangy, a 6'5" quarterback that throw the ball, 2 running backs that looked like running backs, a 6'9" left eye. I said, I got to get this job. These guys are real. Now, I don't know what's happened here in the past, but recruiting has not been their problem. They got guys. So that's really how it all developed. I came in, I talked to him for a day, and he offered me the job kind of, in the fourth quarter. So it worked out really, really good.
Well, Coach, then you had the dubious task, though. You mentioned running backs that look like running backs. How did you come up with a game plan? I mean, you had Carnell Williams and Ronnie Brown.
You were kind of ahead of your time, Coach, because of the 1-2 punch with playing 2 guys that's so prevalent now.
How did you decide to, and how did you work that into the game plan so that both of them, and you can incorporate them in the game?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are screwing this up. That's all in the book.
Oh, well, see, then you got to buy the book to read it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll give you a little.
Yeah, give us a little hint.
Okay?
Just give us a little,
right, without all the deals. Well, Ronnie Brown reminded me of Roger Craig. Okay, I'm from the West Coast. I was a 49er fan forever. Okay, and I looked at Ronnie and I said, this guy's a reincarnation of Roger Craig. He played half his career at halfback. He played half his career at fullback. Well, Ronnie is 230-something pounds, could run, sub 4.4 in a 40-yard dash, and had great hands. I mean, he could catch a BB in the dark. He could catch anything, okay? So I said, you know what? We could make him a part-time fullback, and then every third series continue to play him at tailback. So he was willing to do the dirty work. He'd go in there and block for Cadillac once in a while, and if you're willing to do that, we can get you on the field. I told Ronnie, I said, I'll get you on the field. I'll double or triple your playing time if you just be willing to play fullback 2/3 of the time at fullback and then the other third at halfback. So to do that, we had to make sure that he got touches from the fullback position, which today you just don't see that much, right? I mean, the fullback, back when I started coaching West Coast offense in the 80s, fullback got the ball quite a bit. But today you don't see it much. So we had to incorporate things to get him touches. And I go into a lot of detail on that in the book and how we went about it. So that was really how we did it. I said, we got to make sure this kid plays more. But we were lucky enough that he had the profile to handle it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Ronnie Brown was a guy that even went with your system. He goes higher in the NFL draft than even Carnell Williams. And I don't know if anybody ever saw that coming, but I think a lot of that was probably what Nick Saban saw when he was coaching against you at LSU and had to try to stop those 2 guys when he went on to the Miami Dolphins. So that's a true credit to you and your staff. And then also to Coach Tuberville, because when he hired you, he let you implement your system, because a lot of what you were doing, and you did it throughout your career, was a lot of the West Coast offense.
Yeah, one good thing about working for Tub is you got total autonomy now.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll let you do whatever you want to do. I mean, so I was basically unfettered. I mean, we went about it, and what I got, which was really awesome, is I got a great buy-in from the rest of the staff. See, now, Hugh Nall had been the coordinator the year before, and I took over that job, but they kept Hugh, which on the surface can look a little shaky. God, I don't know if I want to do this with the guy, but he was awesome. He was awesome. I mean, he was the consummate professional. He went back to coaching the offensive line. We did not change much of our running system, so that was a plus. And words-wise, we kept a lot of the same words because Campbell had been through 3 coordinators 3 years before I got there. So I wanted to keep it so that he still understood. I'll use all new words where now he had to start all over again because he'd already done that several times. So I think that made the transition easier.
Well, Coach, that 2004 season was magical, and we're not done with the conversation, but just let everybody know about the book, when it comes out,
right,
and how they're going to be able to get it.
Okay, it's called Deny the Tiger, which is a play on words because of the season. It'll come out in August. Okay, or they're telling me that anyway. The book's done; it's been done for a while. But they got to go through, again, they finished editing. Now they got to go through imaging. They got to go through the whole process of the publishing. And I'll come back in August when the book's out and start the same type of deal. I'm going to be talking to a lot of radio stations and let people know you can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Anywhere you get books, you can get this book. It'll be available to you. So, and then what I want to do, guys, is I want to go down. I've already talked to Auburn about this. For the LSU game, if possible, on October 1st. And I want to do a book signing so I can see the fans again and sign some books and get a chance to see a football game, bring my son back again because I know he won't object to that. So that's my plan. And again, as long as everything stays on schedule, that's what we'll do. But anybody anybody out there wants to befriend me on Facebook, feel free because I can keep you posted on the progress of this thing.
Well, and we're all excited about it. And, Coach, I know you last worked on the sideline at UTSA in 2018, and you even were an analyst at Auburn in 2017. But how close are you staying to the game? Because I know it's always in your blood.
Yeah, let me tell you what I do right now is I do for Michigan for WTKA, which is a station here in Ann Arbor. I do a Zoom for them every week, a deep dive into the game. Sam Webb and I, who host the show, will spend the whole Monday breaking down the game. We come up with about 8 to 10 plays that we telestrate, and every Wednesday night or Thursday morning, depending on when it's done, it's about an hour-long show, and then we go through plays. We go through Michigan football from an offensive perspective, as deep as you can get. If you're a real connoisseur of football, it's a good deal. Now we don't, you gotta. We got a lot of views last year because they did real well. Michigan had a heck of a season.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It keeps me in football, and it keeps me up with the game, which I promised myself I would never lose touch with the schematics of football, and this has given me a chance to do that. So that's what I do now, and then I coach my son's 17U baseball team in the summer. I figured, guys, if I live to be 125, I'll make it into the majors. So that's my plan.
Well, and Al Borges is joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And Coach, since you were close and watching Michigan football all year, how big was that win against Ohio State? We know, how big it was, but just really how big was it and what did it ultimately mean for Jim Harbaugh?
Oh, my God, it's huge because it exercised some demons. They had not beat Ohio State since I was there. The last time they won was 2011, my first year at Michigan. So, goodness gracious, that's 7 years with Jim, and then I think 3 years with Brady. So that was a long time, and it's like anything else. When the rival wins too much, when one team wins the rivalry too much, it gets ugly for the coaches. As long as there's some balance to who's winning, one team wins one year, the other team wins the next year, the rivalry's healthy. But as soon as you start getting one team win as much as they want it, it was just getting ugly for the coaches. So, like I said, I think the demons were exercised, and they play and they won convincingly. It wasn't any fluke, So the Michigan fans are feeling a lot better about beating Ohio State, feeling really good about their future. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, and Coach, and you can answer this honestly because you were blessed. You were a part of a lot of great rivalries in college football. You were part of USC, UCLA. You were part of the Iron Bowl. You brought your son back for Alabama, Auburn, and you were a part of Michigan and Ohio State. You can answer this as well as anyone. Which rivalry is the most intense?
See, you did it again. You did it again.
So that's part of the book, huh?
It's part of the book.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's part of the. Oh, you can't leave.
There
that
you go.
out.
Part of the book. We're teasing a little
'cause
bit
I
here.
get that question. God, I get that question all the time because there's not a lot of guys.
Because there's not a lot of guys that did it. Was a part of it like you were.
Yeah, no, I know. So I get that question all the time. But I will say this: the one thing I will say, and I'm going to let you read what I wrote in the book. But during the week, there's no discernible difference in terms of how vicious the rivals are. They're the same. But in the off season, I'll let you read that part. That's where I allude to more things that I think that you'll find compelling. So,
well, Coach, you have been around this game for a while, so you have seen the evolution of everything that's gone on the field and off the field. In today's game, could you imagine? We see coaches getting away in their prime now more often. Could you imagine being a part and being a head coach in today's game now, where you have to deal with name, image, and likeness, have to deal with the transfer portal, have to deal with all this other stuff that you and Coach Tuberville and all that stuff didn't have to deal with back in 2004 when you were at Auburn and their 2004?
No, I can't imagine. It's not my favorite part of what's happening to college football, but it is what it is, you know. If you're going to coach, you got to stay up with the times, and that's what's happening. So you got to deal with it. You know, I think Nick said it's not going to sustain the way it is, and I tend to agree with him. I don't know that you can sustain with this model in college football, but it is what it is, and you just have to make the adjustments and do what you got to do to keep your team afloat. But there's a lot of things that are, particularly the transfer portal, which, a guy gets bumped to second team, all of a sudden he leaves. Well, and when I was coaching, when I started coaching this, a lot of times guys like quarterbacks, hell, they didn't play till their junior or senior year.
Right.
Because they had seniors in front of them. They learned the system. They did what they had to do, and then when they got their turn, they played, and then, maybe if they played well, they got drafted. Well, that just doesn't happen anymore. If you're a freshman or a sophomore, if you're Justin Fields or you're who was the kid, Burrow,
Joe Burrow,
they move, and it worked out for them. So you can't say it's bad. You know what I mean, from their perspective anyway. But from a team dynamic perspective, it could be tough. Because now you got to go out and get another one. Which is that's just the climate now, and you just have to find a way to adjust.
Well, you certainly adjusted, and we're part of one of the special years in the history of SEC and Auburn football. Deny of the Tiger, out in August. This is going to be an outstanding book. We've teased it a little bit. Going to be a lot of great information from a coaching perspective and behind the scenes, which so many people want to be a part of, and what happened to have that whole season unfold for the Auburn Tigers to go undefeated and lay claim to one of the best teams in SEC history. Coach, good luck with the project. I'm glad that it's come together so well for you, and you're being so well received in Auburn. I'm sure it's going to sell like hotcakes here in the state of Alabama, but we appreciate you coming on and look forward to speaking with you down the road, talking some more football and seeing how this and when you're coming back to the state to do this book signing.
I'll look forward to it, guys. Maybe we can get another chance to do that as it gets closer. When the book comes out, we can talk again and then talk more football, because it'll be football season and everybody will be fired up.
Absolutely, Coach.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys, take it easy.
All right, Al Borges with us. Great conversation there about that 2004 team, and couldn't give too much away.
We can't give away the farm. Just give it some nuggets there.
Let's get a break in. When we come back, I've got an update on the Oregon self-pumping gas full-service update. Not from Landon, but I got an update. We'll fill you in.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And now a small business setback, delivered by a kind French stranger.
Monsieur, there was an accident. The windshield of your catering van is, kaput? But Progressive has an extensive network of repair shops. Now, we sing about the old days. Brave marin revient de guerre.
When things go wrong with your small business, it's comforting to know you have Progressive Commercial. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Croissance for everyone.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000 square foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff. What are you waiting on? We will see you at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us, too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Working on a wreck at Governor's in Triana. That one had 3 vehicles involved with some injury. Looks like 20 eastbound at Bibb Garrett is clear now. That area appears to be moving. Popeye's $6 shrimp tackle box is back with 8 butterfly shrimp, a signature side, and a buttermilk biscuit. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. And a big conversation has been where can you and can you not pump your own gas? And we've found out that in New Jersey, they're one of 2 states where you can't pump your own gas, and it's been that way since 1949. Oregon is the other state that you can't pump your own gas in. It has been banned since 1951. However, they have made some exceptions in the state of Oregon. Rural areas with towns that are less than 40,000 residents have been permitted to pump their own gas since 2018.
Uh-oh.
So it's only been 4 years.
Is that where Landon is?
Coos Bay, I think, is less than 40,000.
Yeah.
So I think residents in smaller towns can often serve themselves at any time of the day. Some countries or some counties are restricting times to 6 p.m. So there's restrictions on even then when you can pump your own gas. So
they can probably at least they can turn left.
Yeah. A key exception was made in 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic was declared. The governor lifted the ban temporarily to illness, but attempts to slow down the transition of the virus in Oregon was also reason cited for lifting the ban. So there you go. So there you have it on self-serve gas stations. I don't know if there's any left in the state of Alabama. I think they're all. I don't think there's anybody that can pump your own gas that pumps your gas for you in the state of Alabama. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen one in a long time.
Well,
used to be there was 2 different prices: full service and self-service. Remember? Yeah. And full service was always more expensive because they were pumping it for you.
I can't remember how much mine was. I just remember being shocked that somebody walked up to my car,
tapped on your window. And
I was like, hey, what can I do for you?
All right. Short time left. If you want to get in, 256-576-4977. The Atlanta Braves back in action today. And another chance
Kyle Wright
for Kyle Wright to continue what has
He's been the ace thus far. Even though Fried was tremendous against the hated, disgusting, revolting Dodgers in his last start.
But this is what I guess you could say right now, Kyle Wright, 1-0, 1.64 ERA.
Awesome.
For Kyle Wright. This is what we've expected, or not expected, but hoped. You're right. Hoped is the right word.
Yes.
That his development would be right where it is right now, early on, for Kyle Wright.
And he's been tremendous because the Braves have had a little bit of a struggle to start. But again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Got to get all the kinks worked out. But Kyle Wright has been their best starting pitcher, and hopefully he can put his 3rd straight strong start tonight together for Atlanta because it's needed because they lost 2 out of 3 on the road to the disgusting, revolting, just putrid Dodgers.
Yeah, Kyle Wright in his last 2 games. Now this will be as you mentioned, his 3rd start. He's only given up 7 hits in 2 games. His second outing came against San Diego. It was a no decision. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, did strike out 9. In his first start of the season against Cincinnati, he went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, and struck out 6. So in 2 starts this season, Kyle Wright has only given up 1 walk and has struck out 15 batters. That's a pretty good number.
Yeah, it's no doubt. And that's been the issue. And when he's been up in the big leagues, it's always in order to he needed his command to be better, and it so far has been. It's been tremendous, and we look forward to that matchup tonight for the Braves as he continues his strong start to what we believe is hopefully his coming out party as one of the best pitchers in the National League.
All right, we have had a fun 2 hours. That's going to do it for our week. I told you
Braves
the
hosting
weekend
the
was
Marlins,
upon
by the
us. Yes, the weekend was upon us. It is here for us. The sun is shining. I can't wait to get outside and enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoy it as well. Big thanks, Al Borges. Big thanks, John Sumrall. Man, what a fantastic 2 hours.
It was a great show. Congrats to Bob Jones. They play for an area championship Saturday on Jared Smith and the Huntsville Crimson Panthers winning the area over Grissom in baseball last night. So congrats to a couple of local high school area baseball teams for some championships.
All right, guys, we'll be back at it Monday morning. Enjoy the weekend.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality